Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of the GPS podcast. Grow your passion into success. Where
we grow your passion into success.
She's still getting it wrong, y'all, but one day.
That's right. Isn't it?
No, it's not.
Oh, my bad.
It came out smooth.
Where we get in the room, man.
Yeah. Dang. Everybody knows it but the person who came up with it. But don't worry, y'all. One day we're going to get it right for y'all.
I bet I get it at the end, though.
At the end?
Facts.
Okay. So
it's not how you start the race. It's how you finish it.
It's how you finish. Okay. You got to make sure you're in the right racetrack, though. We racing cars. You showed up with your shoes. Anyway, y'all, GPS Podcast. We back with another episode. This is a special episode because we talking about and dealing mainly with relationships. And it's something that, yes, we talk a lot of entrepreneurship and we talk a lot of business and we talk a lot of money. But one thing is for sure, and that is that you can't go into business, you can't be an entrepreneur, and you're not going to make a lot of money without other people. So relationships become really important, especially when you come from our community. So I got some friends here today. I'm going to let them introduce everyone. I'm going to go around everybody, introduce themselves, tell you who they are, what they do. And we just going to get into it. We're going to have a nice little conversation. You see the couch is nice and balanced. And we're just going to have a nice little conversation.
What's the balance about the couch? To help me.
Like we have the female side of the couch, or we call that estrogenville. And then we got the male side of the couch where testosterone is dominant. You feel me?
Doesn't make it dominant just because you say it that way.
Man side dominant. How about that?
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to pass it first left, and then we'll go around, let everybody go. It's on you. Let them know who you are.
All right, I'm Aaron Moore, entrepreneur as well for 815 Apparel, father, single. I'm here to learn and listen and see how this goes. I'm interested.
Let's go. It's on you.
I'm Nashira Bailey, entrepreneur as well. I am an eyelash extension tech, single, and yeah, that's all I got. I don't know.
I'm Brother Henry's wife.
Facts. She don't have a name.
I don't have a name.
They just be like, hey, Brother Henry's wife. What you do? Why don't you have a name? That's crazy.
I always introduce myself as Brother Henry's wife.
It's crazy.
It gives me so much pride and joy to be able to say I'm Brother Henry's wife. So,
She does like 90% of the work, and then
Y'all smell that sarcasm?
You know what I'm saying?
It's not sarcastic. How often do I introduce myself as Brother Henry's wife?
Probably. It's your thing. That's
I'm Sister Keshonda, a.k.a. Brother Henry's wife.
AKA, that's right. But you see, Brother Henry didn't say, yo, I'm Sister Keshonda's husband.
No.
Because men don't really do that too often. You know what I'm saying?
We do come into the world Mr. and Mrs. such and such. We don't come into the world Mrs. and Mr.
I guess. Anyway, y'all, we talking relationships, y'all. So, all right, I'm going to jump right into this because we had a conversation before, and I talked to some of my young boys, and they only reaffirmed what I believe. So I don't know if...
Was I there for this conversation?
Nah, this was me and Yamir moving this week.
Oh, okay.
So...
Dang, he just put his name out there. What if he ain't want...
Yeah, he going to be on the podcast, too.
How young are these young boys? Someone like...
Yamir's what, 22?
Funny hair young boy?
22, yes.
Now, here's the thing. I'm going to bring him on an episode. The next episode we record, I'm going to bring him on. He got HBCU Student of the Year out of hundreds and thousands of people. Engineer. He in school to become an engineer. Basketball on scholarships. The boy nice. He got his rap career decent. Like he makes decent music. So I think he's a good person I could reference to say what I'm about to say. And I'm gonna bring him on the episode
because I wasn't there for this.
You wasn't here for that? Yeah. So we was having this conversation. I'm gonna open it up to my man A. I'm gonna let the ladies talk about it too. We was having this conversation, right? I heard on another podcast the conversation back and forth about taking a woman on a date. It's the first date, right? And if you go on this first date, to me, this is how I view it. To me, that first date, if we get to the date and number one, if I think the woman trying to finesse, it's done. Like if she's just trying to get a free meal, I'm gonna be right back. You know, she's gonna hear burning rubber, right? I'm done, off top. That's if she's trying to get the free meal, if she's running game. But let's say she's not running game, but the date just goes horrible. Like remember that old TV show, Hell Date? Like the little devil pops up. Like, it's just horrible. We not vibing. There's no future between us.
So basically, you can't hold a conversation. You're not very fun on that date. You're not, You're not engaging with her in the conversation.
That person, real quick.
Man, didn't it?
No, I'm just asking. Is that what
Why
that
she
means?
can't be the boring one? Why she can't hold a conversation?
Why would it be horrible?
Like, I get on a date and she
That
like,
was hypothetical.
She was
like
saying-
shots fired.
you know what I'm saying?
I'm just asking. Like, why?
Ultimately, it doesn't matter which
Yeah.
party it was, but that was what
I'm
happened.
saying.
Was that Sister Keshonda or was that Henry's wife?
right.
That's funny. That was Sister Keshonda.
Okay.
That's how I assume.
Cause like, what if you get on a date and then like, what if she look cute? You seen her out.
I
You
mean, what
pop
else
your
would you do
game
on a
as a
date with
man.
her?
You like, hey sister, you very respectful. Hey queen, how are you today? May I
Stop
have
it.
your phone number so we can dialogue in future endeavors? Right? You run your game. She give you a
Exactly.
number, and you get on a date and she like, hey there, what that is though? You like, ooh, like this ain't gonna work.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
At the moment you asked for her phone number, did you talk to her, or did she just like mime you the whole time?
I mean, if she cute, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No.
I don't know.
It's very straightforward.
Maybe at the
question.
time she
You
was
was
like,
referring to her voice, so you got to answer her question.
Did you talk to her before you got on the date?
Sure,
Or
you
is the
might have
first
talked
time?
to her.
Okay, so when you talked to her, did she say, "Hey there, boy, what's your name?"
nah, that's what's crazy about it. The first time
So
she was
she
like,
completely switched it up on you.
yeah, you know, first of all these hood folks on these couches gonna act like they never had to switch it up before, right? Like,
Wow.
You know when you meet a guy though, it's like
Nobody
a
does
job.
that.
You don't do it
If
for
I'm
no
gonna say,
man.
"Hey there, boy, what's your name?" dear,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that from the very beginning. I'm not
Tell
gonna.
y'all.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna be like, "Good afternoon, sir. Let's
Right.
dialogue and conversation."
Hey, I'ma tell y'all
And then you get on
something.
the date, and I'm
True
like, "Hey there, boy."
story.
That
True
don't make any
story.
sense.
A certain woman, I ain't gonna say her name, right? This is a true story. It was like a certain way until you meet her hood family, and then you realize, like, yo, she's really more hood
Right.
than you thought. I ain't gonna say no
That's
names
different.
because she
We
switched
talking
it out.
about
Like,
first date.
you know what I'm
Everybody,
saying?
when they meet people, is on their best behavior.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts.
So here's the point that I'm
But that's
getting
a
at.
facade.
Not
though.
the
Yeah.
voice,
Here's the point.
no.
You're not gonna get on a date and she's gonna be a complete 180. She's not gonna go from.
let's change all that. Let's just say
Okay.
the date is horrible for whatever reason.
Okay,
All right?
thank
Let's say y'all not vibing. Okay.
Fair
there's
enough.
no vibe. There's no connection, and you already know like ain't gonna be no second date, right?
Sure.
Here's the thing. I've never done it personally. I gotta clear myself because people I know, you know,
Yeah.
I've never done it personally.
You make it
But
sound like it though.
if a man, I mean, yeah, I do because as a man, I understand where men coming from with
Keep
this
going.
one,
I know
right?
where you going. That's why.
If a man is like, yo, you know what? There ain't no future here. Let's just split this bill 50-50 and be out. I'm not mad at that man for doing that.
I am.
All right.
He's a
But
Negro.
That's not what this. There should be a question formed in this.
Yeah, what's
Go
that?
back to the question. It was like
What's that?
I don't remember. It was he wrong or should he pay first? That's
Should
what
he
Sure.
pay?
Absolutely.
Should a
Should
man
he pay?
always pay on that first date?
That was the
Absolutely.
Right? Should the man always pay? And
Absolutely.
for the most part, yeah. But I mean, okay. Here's my thing. Right? I'm an entrepreneur. All right. I like making investments, but an investment with no return on the investment is not a good investment.
We've had this conversation.
So-
you don't go into no investment with a guaranteed return, though.
That's true. But why would I invest in dinner if ain't gonna be no
So then the
return?
question becomes: at what point do you back out? Is it wrong to back out as soon as you know?
I don't know. Like, no.
Me personally, if I'm saying let's go out to eat, that money's already gone. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
That's
like,
how it's
you would
supposed
have to
be.
do a lot for me to be like, I'm not even finna cover what I said I was gonna do. You know what I mean? To me, that says more about me than you. You know what I mean?
True.
I'll
I
let
agree.
you play yourself. You know what I mean? So it could have been date 2. You know what I'm saying? But at what point is it wrong to say, you know what, I could just tell right away we wasn't going nowhere. Let's just do it now.
So you get there, and 10 minutes later, you're not vibing. Are you going to at least pay for the drinks?
I'm asking a question. When is it okay to say we're good?
It's always okay.
Right,
You can.
yeah.
You don't. Nobody's
Okay, so-
forcing you to stay here.
Yeah.
But you can at least cover my drink.
If we going out, I have no problem with paying for it, whatever. That's all. I'm asking you. Let's go out, okay? So like I said, that
Exactly.
money's already gone. But if we get here and we're speaking hypothetically, we can already tell there's no future. There's no date 2.
Facts. Then you can let me know
How
that.
long do we keep playing along?
You don't have to play
You don't
along.
have-
You
the
can
qu-
immediately
So
say
he
that.
said the same thing. Same thing's asking them. Basically, we can just quit right now.
I'm okay with you quitting right now. Like
Oh, Harry's saying don't
not.
pay.
He's
Well,
saying
I'm
not
saying-
to pay for
I'm
it.
saying
He
for
saying
if
you
a
like,
man
we talking
say-
about 50-50 now because I don't like
If
you
a
now.
man say,
Like, bro,
if
you already
the man
invited
say
me.
like if they both know ain't no relation, ain't no future popping off, and if
Right.
like I said, I've never done it, like, because I'm just gonna pay it. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
But
we a couple of drinks in, and basically you not getting the next one. That's how you feel.
Right.
Right.
Are you?
That's how you feel.
yo,
And I think
listen,
that's
if a
unique
man
also.
say, if a
We
man
like
say,
your perspective.
if a man say, yo, you know what, this ain't working, and he's like, you know what, we 50-50 in this thing. I ain't mad at him. Like, I never did it, but I ain't mad at the man at 50-50 at that point because he like ain't no future here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you going on a date for a future, right? Or you just
Right.
are you going on a date to kick it, or you trying to like get to know each other?
Trying to
You
get
trying
to
to
know
see
each
like
other.
what's gonna be? You going there for
So-
future investments,
So
right?
here's my issue.
To see if
you,
it's gonna be.
you're giving men the opportunity. Like, how many dates does he go on where he like, this not gonna work? Because ultimately,
only the
you
first,
go,
it only counts for the first date.
okay. How many first dates do you go on? Because
50
I'm
dates.
again, I can't say for everybody, but I'm assuming people go on a good 10 dates in their lifetime.
Nah, this
Before you
2022. Can I get some
you
modern?
saying
Can I get
before
some modern daters
sex?
to?
How many
To
first dates
adjust
do you
these
go
numbers?
on? I don't know.
Depending on
What's
what's
the average
going on.
first date around
What's the
here?
investment again?
How many? What's the average number of first
I'm
dates
on a lot
people
of
go
first
on?
dates.
So
I mean,
my
well,
point
okay.
is, you giving a
I'm on a lot of
dude,
first dates.
say he go
How
on
many times have you
5,
paid on your
10,
first
15 first
Man,
dates.
so they know about this story. Wow, it's the boomstick.
It's just
for
one
me.
story though. It's just one story.
She might got multiple.
I probably do got multiple, but ultimately only like once or twice. But that last time was like the worst time. Like he invited me out
Other than that
But he
last
invited
time,
you, but he made you pay for real, for real.
Yeah.
the one
Like,
where I was at the bowling alley,
when we was looking for the pool table.
or the pool table.
Yeah.
Other than
Oh,
that
yeah.
one, did you know you were gonna pay going before you went?
I
No,
wanna
but
know,
I
too.
was taught
I
to
want to know at what
always-
point in the date was he like, nah?
yeah, because it's
Right.
funny.
But I was taught
I'm
to
not
always have
paying
your
for
money.
this.
It don't matter
Facts.
if it's a date with a friend, a man, or anything. Always just be prepared for any
Right.
situation.
Absolutely.
But no, I didn't know I was gonna be paying. He invited me.
That is
You know what I'm
bogus,
saying?
though. Here's the
You
thing. I'm not
told-
saying
That's
it's not
bogus.
bogus.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not bogus. I'm just saying I understand where man's coming from if he say he gonna do that. But it is bogus.
And like what he said, I would rather you be a man and be like, yo, I see this ain't gonna work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I still got your little drink or whatever. It didn't even get that far. We went to like 3 different locations. All the locations closed. We finally get to a location, and we both ordered a drink. And then he asked the bartender like, "Oh, is it separate?" It was like $11, bro. It was like $11.
So he helped you out though, because that should have been a.
He did.
If you
But
ain't see that
it was
red
a
flag right there, he
immediately.
was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like you said, how long do we stay after that? Like a lot of my friends was like, "Oh, I would have sipped it up. I would have left." And I was like, "No, I paid for my drink. I bought the bartender a drink, and then I left." Like
Yeah.
it was cool. I
Yeah.
realized you would never. I'm not even gonna text you back. We don't even have
Yeah.
anything to talk about.
That's crazy.
I'm not even a drinker, so I'm like, dang, I can't get a shot.
This dude is lame.
In real life though, that's crazy. Dude
But
said he gonna
here's
slip
the
the
thing.
drink. It is
You
crazy.
you understanding?
I do understand it though.
You understand this
No, here's the thing.
Buster
That-
Negro that took her out?
Right?
That's-
You understand his side?
That's lame though.
And
'cause
nothing
here's the
happened.
thing.
We ain't had
Here's
no
the thing.
bumper
so
heads or
curious.
nothing.
In their
If he
situation,
came prepared to cover the date and decided not to, or if he was just broke the whole entire time.
that's what it sounds like.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
It
too.
sound like
he
he-
had a nice car. but
It sounded
you
like
never
number
know.
one, he didn't think he could pull you, right? And we all know that having a nice car, you can be your girlfriend car, baby mama cars.
Right.
It don't got to be his car, right? And you
Right.
so it felt like he was like,
But
"Well,
I
I
drove
got this."
myself there. Though.
So he probably and you drove yourself, so
I
he
drove
probably felt
myself.
like I didn't think I could get her. I got her. And I don't know. I don't know what's going. Here's my thing. I think we probably all agree on this. If you broke, you shouldn't be dating.
Right. That's the ultimatum.
He watching this podcast like, man, let me tell my side of the story though. Listen,
Like,
Honestly, I wish it was.
she was all in her
I'm a
phone,
human
you know what I'm
being.
saying?
Nothing
Facts.
like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like nothing like that. Like didn't even get there. We literally went to like 2 or 3 different bars that were all closed when we got there. It was only like 11 o'clock on a Thursday in Rockford. Oh dang.
So here's my question.
Crazy.
yeah.
You hear his side of the story, and he says, "Brother Henry, do you understand that I was at this pool bar with her, and I knew it wasn't going nowhere, so I split the $11 bill with
in
her?"
her story, she didn't tell the whole story, but she didn't tell the whole story this time, but she told it last time,
Yeah.
right? So in her story, they went to 3 different spots. They just got there. My man just ordered. They just ordered the drinks. If that was the case and he knew at that point, he never should have went on a date because that would mean he knew before the date. You know what I'm
Honestly,
saying?
After
He should
even
never
finding out the
came on a
first
date.
I'm so
location was
curious.
closed, you should have been like, well, maybe we could try this another day.
Once my man started talking about gas prices, $3.59. Like, yo, we need to map these miles out so I know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a firm believer. Like, the only time you should be dating broke is if you're like in high school, right? Because in high school, first of all, I'm not like advocating for like high schoolers to date, but I'm just saying like when you get your little girlfriend, boyfriend in high school, you don't have a job, okay. But the moment you're able to work and put a little bit of money up, you should at least be able to like do something. You know what I'm saying? Something like
Flowers, McDonald's.
When you say
whatever.
you mean
Chick-fil-A,
men,
maybe.
correct?
men. Period. I'm talking about men. Like I don't. Here's the thing. Personally, I don't expect a woman. Like I come in looking at it like I'm gonna be the man in the situation, right? And it carries because like how you start a relationship is how you end a relationship or how the relationship grows. So like I don't want to come in the gate. I just seen a video. This I'm gonna use this. I just seen a video where this girl was taking this dude's stuff and throwing it all into the hallway, and he gotta go. And he was like talking crazy to her, and she was talking crazy to him. But like, I never want to be in a position where a woman like, you gotta leave my house.
Right.
As a man, ain't no manhood in that. Where a woman like, this is my house. Get your shit, get out. Like, hold on, wait, what? Like, all I can do is revert back to being a little boy and name call, cause it's her house. You know what I'm saying? It's her car. It's her house. She paid the bills. Her name on everything. So that's for me. I can't get. I don't want to get caught in one of them type of situations like that.
What was Yamir's take on it as a 22-year-old in 2022?
He said he understand.
To not pay for it?
Said, we'll ask him when he's on the podcast, but he said he understand the 50-50 thing if the date not going nowhere. Like, it makes sense. Like, one, he said, this is what he said exactly almost. He said, one, women be finessing too heavy nowadays. Like, he said, like, it's too much, like, just, you don't know who's who. People put on a good face. Like, just, it's so much finessing. Like, if the date not going, he said, because what if she's just there for the meal, but she don't play it that way?
Right.
And it's a lot of that like women run game to get a free meal. You know what I'm saying? Like just let him know.
It's a good time.
If he's in the friend zone when he get there and he's on the friend zone when he leaves, but he think he coming as the boyfriend, that's kind of bogus. You know what I'm saying? So
That's communication, though.
So then why not, like Jalen said the first time, take me somewhere where you ain't got to pay for it. Like, let's figure this thing out before let's go for, a walk.
what you
So I'm
under
gonna
the
have
sun or
Jalen come with the
something.
top 10 list.
That's what I mean about
Right?
the facade, though. You trying to take a person on a date to establish, like, this is how good it could be.
Right.
Facts.
We can sometimes do things like this. So you're trying to put your best foot forward. Otherwise, what's wrong with, listen, I'm a cook, you can come by, you know what I mean?
Nothing.
Ain't nothing wrong with that
Nothing wrong
either,
with
though,
that.
right?
But the perspective is you can't date broke.
Right.
So I got to show you that I'm not broke.
Cooking don't mean you broke,
Yeah, but
though.
just
It's
because you cook
showing
dinner
me-
doesn't
you trying
mean-
to show me a good time.
So
You
here's,
trying-
I disagree with that. I think
Thank
that
you.
you
Somebody
can.
got to disagree with one part. You can't have it both ways.
I think you can.
Right,
I think you can date broke. You just shouldn't. Like, here's the thing: if you're creative enough to take me out on a date where you cook for me, and it costs you $20 to go to the store and get the groceries to cook, you're pretty broke if that's all you got. But if you cook dinner for me and you buy the candles and you pour the drink,
GTD.
shut up. That's a hell of a date, right? That's beautiful, right? That
we went to
means
that
something
Martin
to me.
episode.
Now, here's the thing: I don't know about the average woman. I can't tell you about the average woman. But if you take the time to date me, right, to wine and dine me, and I don't know how much it costs, but whatever it costs, if it don't cost you an arm and a leg, then you wine and dine me. Now, obviously, later on in the relationship, if you don't have your own home, then I'm gonna figure that out. But on that first date, if you wine and dine me and it
But you
costs
know
you
what, though?
$30, then it costs you $30.
When I say broke though, when I say broke, I don't. Yeah, it's not just like because you don't got like because who's to say what broke is for somebody? Like,
Right.
Because for somebody, if somebody's happy living a lifestyle, if somebody makes $15,000 a year and they happy in that lifestyle, who am I to tell them they broke? You know what I'm saying? Like if they have real happiness, because you can't happiness don't have a price on it. Now they do say money can't buy happiness, but damn it, poverty can't either. I need to for my entrepreneurs out there, I need to put that out there. But like who am I to tell the next man or next woman like you don't make enough money to you know what I'm saying to date?
So I think the point is, don't be taking me to Benihana's and you can only afford Wendy's. I think that's
if
the
it's
point.
gonna be an L,
I disagree,
period.
because females want to be impressed.
This is true.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I like that.
You
I like
don't
that.
want to come out and go with somebody that can only afford to cook for you. You know
No,
what I'm
it's
saying?
but then that's the
why
next date though.
Let me say this too. I feel like people should be accepting of both. Nobody always has it. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Facts.
So we gonna kick it all the time. We dating to what they say. We dating to marry. We dating to get to know each other. 3 days out of these 30, I'm broke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got to be alone because I can't afford to kick it with you.
Facts,
or you gonna
facts.
come and get this home cooked meal. You know what I mean? So
True.
what if you calling me on day 3? I got to meet you on day 5. I got to wait a couple of days before I can take you out.
Right,
To
right,
me,
right.
that's fake. That's the facade.
All right.
You don't get to deserve to see that side of me because of what? You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Well, I mean, I'm not dating in 2022, but I prefer that you be honest with me from the get go.
Yeah.
Personally,
That's what I appreciate.
if you can't afford to take me out to Benihana's,
Yeah.
but again, if on day 3 all you can afford is a home cooked meal, then just tell me that.
Yeah.
Man, listen, I'm with you, babe. But
more often,
come over and I'm gonna cook for you.
More often, what happens is, let me schedule this date for payday. Make sure.
Right.
Or you can do that.
Something like that. And then date 2, it's like, man, I kicked through her all weekend. Now
But women be
And I
funny.
think that's
Women be
why-
funny acting too, though. If a man
But
say,
you
"I'm gonna
messing
cook
with
for you at
the
my house on the
wrong
first
women.
date," she's like, "You want me to come to the crib on the first date?"
You must.
You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
listen to this.
Like, you want me to come to the crib on the first date?
So
Women
it's
be
like,
funny acting like,
explain it, though. If
like
you
you trying to
say-
smash on the first date. And what if he is?
No,
I mean, he is. Like, let's not.
No, but if he say literally, like she just said, like, I'm a little messed up right now, I can pay next week. Like, if she doesn't accept that, that's not the woman for you.
Exactly.
On
Keep
my
it
soul,
pushing.
or like he just said, Benny Hanna, like, if that's out of your means, bro, there's something between Benny Hanna and McDonald's. Like, come on now. Like,
I
that's
mean-
still gonna be nice. Like, Shogun,
Right,
like,
'cause you got that
$40
focus
a
with
person. People be overdoing their mindsets. Like, it's literally showing me a good time. It's how you approach it. You don't gotta do too much. Spend your last of your check and
You
then
don't.
be mad at me at the end of the night because you ain't get no butt. You mad because you done spent the last of your check. Well, I'm trying to get to know you still.
I'm just trying to get to know
I'm
you.
sorry that I'm really a human and I really want to get to
Man,
know you.
All right,
listen.
You just cashed out on me.
let me play devil's advocate for a second.
But I like to, yeah.
Let me play devil's advocate. I seen a report. No, let me take that back. I didn't see it. I just heard about the report. All right, but actually, I do. I looked it up. It's true.
Googling.
So I did look it up, right? So they did this research report or whatever where they took like men and they took women, and they offered to the women. They showed the men. They showed the women like 3 classes of men. It was like broke, like middle class, and it was like with the, I don't know, this whole high value thing, right? Men 6 figures plus, and then like 98% of the women, when they had to choose the man, chose like a man that was like 6 figures plus, rolling, doed up, you know what I'm saying, baller status and whatever he does. On the flip side, men chose women equally, no matter where it was at. Like, if a woman worked at McDonald's, was she fine? Men was like, I'm willing to give it a chance, right? So on one side of it, I think it's because of the roles that men and women play in a relationship. But on the other side of it, like men, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Men get judged based off where we at in life. Like, it's a fact. Like, women do the compare. Like, you know when women hit you with the head to toe thing?
Right.
Like, the only reason brothers keep up their gym shoes is because women hit them with the...
Duh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be, like... So you telling me, like, me and this sister can have everything in common. Like, we'd be great to link, but then she look at me, and on that day, just on that day, my one's kind of busted. You know what I'm saying?
Because he a hard-working man.
That's
But women will cut you off right then and there. Oh God,
They will.
women will cut you
They
off.
will.
They like, if he can't take care of his feet, he can't take care of me.
If you
know what I'm
walk in
saying?
on nice shoes, that's the least you can do.
Like,
okay.
yeah,
I don't. The thing is though, like, what do you mean kind of busted? Like, I don't.
like,
to me,
that's
that's
like creases, like, oh, he got a crease in his joint. It's a little. He's worn them shoes longer than 30
it
years.
is because the thing is, you make women sound so
Not
superficial.
all
a
women.
lot of them are.
Not all women, but I'm just saying, like, but if we're gonna generalize, like, it's general to say that women, because these are the things women want from a man, right? Security.
True.
They want him to provide.
True.
They want him to maintain, right? And of course, here's the thing: if I can,
And just for the record, we didn't put that on you. God did that.
Okay, God
provide,
did.
maintain. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
she gonna use the
So
God.
I'm just,
Take care
hey,
of you.
listen,
That's
brother.
cool.
I didn't
That's
ask.
cool.
I didn't
Y'all
ask
just
the
listening
God to
because
create y'all
I
and
got
to
a
do
daughter
that.
that's 19. I don't tell her to look for none of that in a man.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I need
You ain't
somebody.
supposed to.
Need somebody that can match your intellect.
She gonna look for somebody
Facts.
that match her daddy though. She gonna be like, my daddy did all this for
I've
me.
never taught her to look for stability or security or
You don't got
none of
to.
that in a man. It's on me to make sure she has that in herself.
Facts.
Because her
Facts.
daddy
True.
provided that.
But
to
at
her,
some
though.
point in life, if she walks down that aisle, what question are they gonna ask you?
So, if any man makes it that far, he can definitely go down the street with you. You know what I'm saying? He had these bright ass lights in his face. You know what I'm saying? We
But
had
they gonna
homies
ask
around
you.
him.
They gonna ask you who gives this woman away.
Yeah.
If I give her away, listen.
If I give her.
That's a tough topic
that's
for daddies.
right. That's
boy.
another reason.
That's a tough topic.
They gonna ask. That's the
That's
question that's
the
being
reason
asked of you.
Why we don't all agree with these religious constructs? You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving my daughter nowhere. You know what I mean? For real. You can marry her 1,000,000 times. You still got to watch how you treat her. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? So
Facts.
giving her away, that's real figurative. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? I'm giving y'all some money to go enjoy yourself.
But you said you don't teach
Give
her
her on
certain
this vacation.
things.
Yeah.
All you have to do is be in her life to teach. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. She gonna lead by. I'm leading by example. Right.
That's it.
I get that, but I have never said basically
That's good,
monetarily
though.
to look for because you
Right.
gonna miss something. And on top of that, you'll catch on to something that's not really there. This person who can afford to pay for something might not be able to match your intellect. You know what I mean? So
I got another thing
you
for
gotta
you.
look
If
for
a
more than
man,
that, which is why I don't understand. Like, you make women seem
shit.
so superficial, as if that's the only thing we care about.
no, but I'm saying like, okay, but it's
just
not
good off
superficial,
the
but is it
shoes.
real? Do women hit men with the top to bottom? Right?
Yes.
Like as a man, I know
Human
my
beings
face
hit each
gotta be
other.
tight. Yeah, but here's the thing: a sister could be working at McDonald's and
men are
fine.
way more
She can
accepting
smell
of
like
it,
French
right.
fries and hamburgers and minimum wage, and she like, damn. But you start seeing the best side of her. You know what? The way she flipped them fries, though. I mean, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Sade. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
listen, men will because for
I'm
like
that type of individual. So.
men will see women like if I'm attracted to you, I'm attracted to you. It don't matter like because I think it's like the internal part. Men aren't looking to a woman to be like, yo, is she gonna be able to take care of me? Is she gonna be able to like pay my bills? Like for a man, you thinking
She gonna make me
that
look good.
I'm gonna maintain her. You're not looking, but some men do now. Don't get it twisted. It's a lot of this baby boy stuff out there where they like, yo, she got a car, she got a good job, she got but that's not like manhood. That's boys talking. Like a man, you're gonna be like, yo, if she fine, I'm gonna figure out how we gonna make it work. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying a woman will see a man though. And I'm telling you, if man, let that Timberland tree just have a branch hanging off the wrong way.
my
You feel
God.
me?
That's
I'm just
that's
saying.
hella.
It's some truth
Timberland.
in what you
I'm
said.
just
I think,
saying.
like at the heart of that statistic though, where you say basically women choose up,
Right.
men are choosing that they're equal. It's insecurity. It's a fear of rejection. You know what I mean? Everybody does have that head to toe, but women is harsh with it. So men
Facts.
don't want to have to deal with that. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So I feel like if we on the same level, she has less of a foot to stand on to tell me no. You know what I mean?
True.
Versus if I'm shooting up, she gonna look at me and be like, nah, I can pull him.
That goes with the conversation we had about the 6-figure women choosing below.
How
High.
rare does that happen though? I wasn't
Because
here
no,
for
they
that
don't because of
conversation.
the insecurities. That's what we were saying.
Okay, see?
And that conversation, I'm gonna tell y'all.
A man's pride, though.
So
Right.
for a woman,
I
right?
don't know.
I got a lot of, I don't want to say friends, they're not friends, but let's say associates, right? We have some associates that are women that's ballers, that's multi-millionaires doing their thing. But for them, I think the question that was asked to them was like, would you date a man that only make $50,000 a
Right.
year? And that's a tough piece for a woman. As a man, I can't say how it would go, but I listen to the sisters talking. Some of they answer, some say yay, some say nay. But it's like, if a woman's worth $5 million and a man only make $50,000, it's still hard for that. In my opinion, it's going to be hard for the relationship to work because the man is like, he's aware. Like, he knows it. And it's hard to be the man in the relationship when you got $50K and she got $3 million. Like, it's just hard. Like, it's.
What
like,
were some of the reasons why women said no? Because I didn't hear this.
Oh, I think they asked the women, like, would you bring him, would you date him, number one? And if you were dating him, would you be, like, ashamed to date him? Or would you bring him around your other multimillionaire friends? Because, like, think about it, like, your circles are important.
Women do it in all the movies.
In the movies, yeah. But, like, how
Again-
many multimillionaire women do you know that marry down?
Remy
I don't know.
Dang. No. My bad, Papoose.
Yeah, me. That's
So then
all
I think like it depends on you at $3 million, you looking at somebody that had 50,000, but are they stuck at 50,000?
Right.
Is your $3 million guaranteed? You know what I mean? What if they was just making 25,000 last year and you made 10 million last year? Which way is y'all going? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
how
Like
sustainable
the
is
woman
it for
coming
you?
down. Yeah.
Right.
You know how sustainable is it for you to keep ascending? And you had 3 million. You know what I mean? This person might be on the way up at 50. It just depends. How are they getting at 50,000? That's my question.
You're right.
Yeah,
True.
I mean,
And again, you make women seem so superficial, as if like just by asking that question, like, I'm not gonna date him. Like, there's so much that I have to ask of him. Like you said,
Here's the
like
thing,
how
I'm
much
not
did
a
he make
woman.
last year? And the thing is, again, like we talked about last time, you should have a top 10 list. Like, what are you looking for in a significant other?
True.
And does he meet
7.
Does he meet 7 out of 10? Does he meet 8 out of 10? And it's one of those 10, him having his own home, him paying all his bills on time. Like, if he's doing that at 50,000, then
Imagine
we
that
can make this work. What you talking about?
No,
I can keep my
sound-
3
it sound
mil.
good.
Brother Henry's wife, I think that's dangerous. The
Sound
top 10
good.
list.
Why?
Because what happens if you meet somebody and they 80% of the list? You supposed to be happy with that?
No.
No. But the
So
thing
then
is,
you gonna
though,
keep going until you find somebody that's 100%.
No.
no.
What's going on?
I was told that if somebody meets 100%, that they're not the one for me.
Definitely.
Because I'm blinded by...
hold that thought right there.
Can you imagine a place where young people become entrepreneurs? They learn about sales funnels, cryptocurrency, real estate, investing in property, making money, selling books, getting it. Well, check us out, kickerversacademy.org. Let's get back to the episode. So having a top 10 list, again, I was taught if he meets 100%, if he meets 10 out of 10, then, he's not the one because you're blinded by that. But you have to have standards. Like, if you go into any relationship, at least that's what I was taught. I shouldn't say you have to have, but I was taught that you have to have standards. You have to have certain, I hear women say today, non-negotiables. So that when I say top 10, a non-negotiable for me is a man that abuses his women.
Right.
That's, you know what I'm saying? So that's if he's not abusive, he checks off one of the things on my top 10 list. You see what I'm saying? He has to.
When I was saying it gets dangerous is because you might end up finding somebody that's perfect for you, but you feel like you settled because they only hit 70 or 60% of the list.
The top 10
no.
is just
It's a guide. Yeah, it's a guide. Because the thing is, if you don't have certain standards that you're looking for, then like what are you looking for in a relationship?
You gotta have standards.
You gotta have something that you're looking for.
Because if you just like a person,
right?
Like just because of their personality, and then like you go back to this list, like he don't want children,
exactly.
He got 5 baby mamas,
right?
And he want to hit me,
right?
And he want to hit
me.
He don't got no goals.
You know what I'm saying? He has no like.
He's losing, but he's a great over one.
Then I don't know. Maybe it's different for men because for y'all. Maybe the top 10 is just her physical, like how she physically looked. Like maybe it's easier for y'all.
No, just like you said earlier, if she can't articulate herself, that's a turn off.
Exactly. That's on your list. You got to be able to have a conversation with me. So that's on your. You may not. Maybe you didn't call it a top 10 list, but you have certain things that you're looking for, and that's so. When I say you have that list of what you're looking for, and if he meets 7 out of those 10 things, but he makes 50,000. One of the things on that list could be he not only does he have a job, but he's consistently working. He's 28 and he's been working since he was 16.
I just think it's dangerous when you're gonna say, I'm gonna settle for this part. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna end up with somebody 5-10 years later. You're gonna be like, you know what? I should have made sure I had like 10 things checked off. You
can create new things though with different people because that's nothing. The list might change.
But it definitely changed as you grow up.
Yeah.
My list at 10 is not the same when we married 16 years ago. It's not.
I think one thing, like if I had to, if we wasn't married and I had to look for a woman all over again, what'd be difficult for me is now that I've seen like what a good mother is.
Facts. Now that you had the best. Okay. It's hard to go out there and even imagine having to settle.
The point that I was trying to make, right? But what's difficult is like I see how my daughter is, right? And I'm like, okay, I didn't have that skill, so I wasn't looking for that like when we first got together because we didn't have no children.
Facts.
And I didn't have no children, you didn't have no children, so I wasn't. But now it would be in my mind like, yo, if I have a child with this woman, like how's she gonna raise my child? Like, is my child gonna be advanced? Was my child gonna be eating paint lead off? You know what I'm saying? Eating lead chips off the wall for breakfast. Like, but now it's important to me at this stage in life. So I see what you're saying. With like things could change because like as you learn certain stuff, you change a little bit. And like for me, like I wouldn't try to get with a woman at this point in my life that doesn't have the ability to like push me forward. You know what I'm saying? Like if I gotta pull her. She ain't the one.
I think that's what all relationships are about. Basically, no matter where you at, being able to grow and learn and build.
Right. You know the teamwork, though.
Yeah.
The partnership.
But I specifically need somebody. Like, you know how you get your circles? You like, don't be the top person in your circle because then, your circle's supposed to uplift you.
Yeah.
I need someone who thinks, they ain't got necessarily be financially and all that, but they at least got to be able to think ahead of where I think. Like, I'm a dreamer and a visionary. So I be all out in space. Like I get an idea. Most entrepreneurs go through it. I get an idea. I'm ready to move out on that idea right then and there. I need somebody to be like, yo, that's effing retarded. You know what I'm saying? Recently.
You learned that?
Recently. I need somebody to tell me like, fam, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Like, what are you talking about? You're going to start a colony on Mars selling Mars candy bars? I'm like, yo, Mars? I'm thinking it's hot. I need somebody that's going to be bold enough to be like, you're an idiot. And you need to go back to the drawing board. And then feel comfortable. Because one thing I don't like with your guys, you get it a lot. You get like yes men around you. But if you get a woman who just go with the flow and she not like bold enough to tell you like, yo, you're an idiot. Like, no, that's not a good idea. Like, I need that. I need that. Because I'm a freaking squirrel. I be one idea, I get in the street. Oh, it's another idea. Oh, snap! Oh, baby, guess what I'm gonna do? She like, huh? Yeah. Next year I'm gonna do this, and that. She like, yo, you just invested $50,000 and now we homeless. I'm like, yeah, but the next idea, right? I need somebody to be like, yo, fam, run that back, kill that play. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I know that now. I didn't know that about myself then. Yes, I thought I was the man. I didn't know that. Yo, this is retarded. Right. So, I mean,
that's how most people are. They figure like, I got me settled. You know what I'm saying? Come with you settled, we can get together. But in reality, people still be building and learning.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
I don't think you ever stop building either.
You never stop building. You never stop. You never stop growing as an individual.
Okay, here's another aspect.
As an individual or a couple.
One of the ladies who was a multi-millionaire, she said she didn't hit her whole phase until she became a multi-millionaire. And I'm using her language. I'm not going to say her name. But she talked about in a podcast episode how she hit her whole phase after becoming a millionaire because it gave her access to men. And here's one thing, like in the black community, we don't do therapy like we should. We don't handle our mental health like we should. And men and women, we all got daddy issues. So the daddy issues, you got $1 million. You the top person in the club. You bought all the bottles. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And she said she hit her whole phase.
Because most hit that at college. And she didn't go to college.
I don't know if she.
You don't gotta do it in college. I didn't do it in college.
It's hard not to.
Boyfriend for a few years. It's not that hard.
It's not hard
not to. It's hard for you, NIU.
Oh, okay.
I also
everybody like, you the homie. When you the person that got it all, though.
I was at HBC.
It's your decision.
They were struggling.
I wasn't at it.
You're hilarious,
dude. Saying, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a woman, so I can't say, but I don't know. Would that make it easier to like be undercover? Like, because for me, I'm thinking like men is gonna be intimidated by the money.
It's just
like,
you and how you move.
Okay.
The human.
There's a difference between. I mean, I'm not a man, but I would assume there's a difference between sleeping with a woman and dating a woman. It's different, right?
Yeah.
So it don't matter how much money you got.
Yeah, I guess if I knock down a multi-millionaire female, I'm getting points.
Yeah, if she gonna let you, then what difference does it make how much money you make? It don't really matter. Or maybe by whole phase meaning she dated a lot of men.
No.
I don't know.
She specifically said she said once she hit like her first 5 million, so from like 5 million to like 15 million on her come up, she was like out there. But she also is like from Compton, like kind of like not think of Serena Williams in the complete opposite. Right?
It sounds like there's some underlying things that she has.
It sounds like daddy issues to me. Like I know this is wrong, but anytime I hear a woman talk about stuff, my first instinct is like, "Where's your dad?"
Was she older than 30?
I don't know her age. I don't know. I met her in person because I went to the dinner, but I don't know.
We all grow at different stages.
Yeah, I guess.
Like you said,
it sounds like she has something else going on.
Wait, she could have been like, I don't want to say like me, but she could have been one of those people that like everybody don't just fall on. So then, like he said, I got.
She was cute though. She was cute
because I'm paying for the. It don't matter what you being cute. Just because you cute don't mean nothing.
I guess I guess
it don't mean nothing. They don't care about you being cute.
Right?
Yeah. Now she gonna have to face rejection.
Exactly.
Right.
They're not gonna reject you.
True.
Or
she's
her daddy wasn't in her life.
She can.
It could have been both though. I'm saying.
True. Okay.
She could have cried her daddy every day. You never know. Could have the best daddy in the world. She just finally ready to have sex with a lot of other people.
Yeah. No. Okay, look. I'm gonna tell y'all the statistic. I'm gonna tell y'all the stat that we just heard that's kind of mind blowing for me. All right. It said that children who have both parents in a household or who are raised with single fathers are less likely to go to prison, have poor education, and are more likely to do better in life if they have either both parents or single fathers.
That's true.
I can agree with that.
I mean,
I don't know a lot of single fathers, but
yeah.
Yeah, the single. I'm gonna tell you as a man, the single father.
I'm pretty successful. I have had my father.
Most times, a 2-parent household, you know, what I'm saying, you got a lot of varying experiences, and you raise your kid to not repeat the same mistakes that you made.
Right.
Most single fathers have been to jail already. Most single fathers have been through hard knocks, so you raise your kids to not do what you have already done.
True.
So,
and like I was saying yesterday, men have a bass in their voice that women just don't have. Like,
true.
No, for real.
Like that old bulls with those elephants in the jungle. I mean, that story just hits it home. Like, there's a reason why the God created man and put him in authority. Like, it's the natural order of things. The male lion is the king of the jungle. You know what I'm saying?
Literally,
the male bull. Like, I can't call it. It's just natural.
Like, this is a messed up statistic. So, okay, a couple stats I heard. Number one, for black women, They said that by time black women reach the age of 18, 50% of black women have been touched by a man, right? Molested, raped,
and most
taken
often by
advantage
somebody
of,
they know.
And it's usually somebody they know. So men literally had a power to either like make a woman great, like a good father can help his daughter become everything in life, or he has the power to send her to, you know what I'm saying? But now she doing cheeks clapping episode 36. True. I guess two things can be true at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if anytime I hear like they talk about like in relationships, we talk about women with issues, my first thought is always like, yo, where was the father at? Like, no matter what, my first thought is
father
like, where was
daddy?
daddy?
Active the whole time, and the uncle touched her. Now she just loony. I'm just
true. And then maybe daddy didn't believe her or whatever. But boys too, though. Like you don't see too many young boys who got their father in their life like hanging out the way. Like if you go to the streets and the young brothers in the streets that's getting it in, most of them ain't got daddies in their life. Like we handle our daddy issues differently, so we gotta like prove we tough. We gotta prove we machismo. You know what I'm saying? Like we in the streets, a lot of that is, man, we ain't got daddies. You go talk to some of the brothers when they locked up in prison. And they like, man, it all started, man. I ain't never get to know my daddy.
So what about the ones that do that still make those decisions?
I mean, no, I'm not saying it's no blanket. You know what I'm saying? It's no blanket. It's not a lot of them statement. But more than likely, the overwhelming majority of people, and I'm gonna tell you why, because environment is super important. Environment is everything. Like we had this conversation. I don't know if y'all seen it on Facebook. They was talking about the abortion clinic on the west side of the town, right? And I wasn't arguing either side. I was just saying environment is everything. Like, if I go in a library, the chances are likely, if I'm in a library 12 hours a day, one, I'm going to be quiet. I'm not going to be loud and noisy. And two, I'm going to read a book. Those are just the odds of being in that environment. Like, you're not going to be in a library being loud, right? The environment controls everything. So, like, in that situation, they put the abortion clinic on our side of town. Folks like, well, it's good health care. Well, no, they got rid of the hospital, so it ain't about health care, right? But once the resource becomes available to you, now it's another, you know what I'm saying? So with fathers, it's the same type of way. Like, if you don't got a daddy in your household, like, or if you do got a father in your household, chances are likely, now you could get into some other stuff, right? But most of the time, I know when I was younger, everybody that was into dumb stuff with me had issues. Either their daddy was, their parents was divorced, and maybe their daddy was present, but their daddy had daddy issues.
Right.
That's which is a big thing. Or they just didn't have fathers in their life at all. All right. And then the ones who did, like I had a friend who had both his parents. While we was doing dumb stuff, he never got involved in none of the other stuff. Like, and he was just different than us. It was just different. Like, we'd talk about stuff and he like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, having a father just makes life different.
Nowadays, it's so different though. Like, I watch people with, I don't want to say active, they're active fathers because they at least try, I guess.
Right.
Still make the decision to stray away from family, to go into the streets, to just, for no reason, just to be that person. So also I'm like, man, it's just crazy watching it change. But I do understand where you're coming from because I also witnessed that time as well.
I don't see that.
Girl, I be seeing,
male or female. Yeah. Right.
I'm sorry. I be like, no. Even my little cousin, I be act like we don't love you now. You in. Come on now, you just gonna act like we don't love you. I'm 12. We ain't even had a chance to feel you yet.
I had a little cousin wild out.
That met big cuz woo woo or something and just enjoying the clicker. I don't know what be happening, but it'd be different.
Yeah, I had a little cousin wild out, and I mean wild out. Like my big cousin hit me on a personal DM like, hey, what's going on with Lil Cuz? I'm like, what you mean? He like, yo, she got naked pictures on like Facebook. Wow. Like, I'm like, damn, like what's the joke? Like, yo, don't even follow me on Facebook no more. Only follow me on Pornhub. Right. Like, she like on that type of wave. And I'm like, yo, what's going on? And then when she started talking, the issue wasn't that she had her daddy in life. The issue was that she had her daddy in her life. And the things that she was saying about her father, like, you want to say like, yo, it can't be true. But all of the like outcomes, like all the outputs of her behavior, you like, something happened. Because this little girl, I remember when she was younger, she was sweet. And now she like on a whole different wave. And she like, oh no, daddy did these things to me when I was younger. And it's daddy fault. And she taking out her daddy issues in her personal life. You know what I'm saying? But like, it's like, that's a tough one.
Daddy issues don't have to mean he wasn't around her. Right. Like you said.
Because he could be around. He just might not be.
Men have the responsibility of being able to change the trajectory or direction of, especially in their girl and their boys too, in their life, just in how you raise them and like the normal ways. Like, men, you don't even have to be as involved as a woman. Like, you don't have to set all the doctor's appointments.
True, I don't do that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't got to go to all the parent-teacher conferences.
True, I
but,
don't
like,
do that either.
there's just something about having a father around, spending some time with me, laughing with me, discipline me when I need it. You know what I mean? Being there so that when I want to start dating, I got to bring them home to you. Like, just normal daddy stuff. It
know what?
It just, I don't know. But again, our creator made it that way. Like, he created y'all to be the head of the household. He created y'all to be the authority.
When Aaron's daughter came to the school, I just looked at her work ethic. And I was like, yo, you could tell kind of like what's going on. Like, you kind of could tell certain things just based off of how they perform.
Do I perform like I had a father?
So the thing,
I mean, in what way?
I don't know. I mean, you know me as an individual. It's been some years. Do I act like I had a father?
Statistic though, like I wasn't a good student.
You wasn't.
So I specifically made sure that I'm raising them to be good students.
Same thing.
You know what I mean? So, and then they have a lot of me in them to where they get lazy, but they want to outdo this one, outdo that one. You know, real competitive.
Yeah.
So I'm turning all the competition academic.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All your reward system is how far can you think? You know,
Man.
How hard can you go with these books? So it's just like I get the opportunity to raise me a different way. I know my faults.
Yeah. Facts.
So my kids get a focused, you know what I'm saying, attention to detail type parent.
I don't know how Keshonda was raised as a child, but I know for me, all the dumb stuff that I did, the blessing for me was I heard Minister Farrakhan talking about how to raise your children to get them to be like genius level. So I think he got, what's it called? How to Give Birth to a God. And like when my wife was pregnant, she would listen to it over and 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 over. And for me, it was kind of like, you know what? I'm going to do the things that I heard people do with their children that's successful. Because me as a child, my father wasn't in my life like that. My mother raised me, but like all the mistakes I made, same thing you said, all the mistakes I made, I was like, yo, how can I produce a child that don't make the same mistakes knowing what I did? Right? And for me, it was one of those things like, no, I got to make sure my daughter don't ever. Like, for me, it's so funny seeing my daughter because she's the 100% complete opposite of me at her age. Like, when I was already being arrested by the time I was her age. You know what I'm saying? She straight A's.
One of us adopted.
Oh, you for real?
Yeah.
You lying?
I swear to God, one of our daughters is adopted.
I never knew. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sure like y'all definitely got twins.
Nah.
You thought they were twins?
No, one looked like you, one looked like her.
She's my blood cousin.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, y'all.
So
and they
that's
both
why
are
you got that in
13
there.
though.
Yeah.
So they are like twins.
Yeah, but like my daughter, she's like 100% different than me. She's like outspoken. She's outgoing. She's involved in everything. Like I was involved in, you know, stuff young black men get involved in. I was trying to get numbers, digits, draws.
But it's like
you know what I'm saying?
Environment. They said an apple don't fall far from the tree, but we, you know what I'm saying, strive so hard to put ourselves in better situations to our kids. They don't grow up in the environments that we grew up in.
Facts.
So Maya not growing up
Facts.
how you grew. Maybe you put her in the exact same environment, you get the exact same thing.
Facts.
You know
Big facts. Yeah.
And she right here. You know what I'm saying? She's soaking up different information. So
yeah, definitely.
That makes a huge difference because, I was. Keshonda was a better raised child than me, so maybe she gets something from her mother. And I'm not knocking my mother. My mother did everything in her power, but I was one of those children who knew better but didn't do better.
Yeah, me too.
Because it was popular. It was like, yo, everybody else smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else hanging out. Everybody else out till 2 o'clock in the morning. Everybody else got 5 girls. Everybody else out getting drunk. You know what I'm saying?
Make yourself behind.
Don't it? The lessons I learned in life, boy. Ooh, that's a good podcast episode.
Made me a great person.
It did. Hey, the reason you got the me you got today, I feel like stuff that I do now is so easy. Like, it's cake. You gonna pay me to talk and like organize some stuff on the computer? Ain't nobody shooting at us. Nobody trying to jump me.
What?
Nobody trying to fight me. Well, maybe parents. Sometimes they get upset. Parents want to fight. They don't want to fight me. They want to fight my teachers. That's a different ballgame. I'm like, yo, let me intercede.
Man.
True story.
Hey,
True
Lil
story.
just said that though. It's crazy how like you could try to speak knowledge through small verses. Cause in one of his songs he said, "Yeah, I spent the block before, but it feel way better to count a meal."
Yeah,
like,
true.
Yeah, you can be tough. Yeah, I can do that, but bro, I'm in a whole different bracket now. Like,
True.
why would I risk
And you know what's crazy?
doing this?
Fact.
For that?
My daddy came and visited us a couple months ago, right?
In September, yeah.
In September, my dad came to visit with, and he was like just in awe because he's looking at something that he knows I gotta give him his credit. Like Bible say, honor your parents, right? He knows that I'm different, but he like, yo, I didn't make this child. Like I made the child, But who I am now, he's like, yo, like this don't even in his mind. He's like, can you teach me? Like I'm trying to learn from you. So that's if you live long enough, that's the thing, the blessing of if you live long enough, you get to come back to that. But a lot of times, shit, I got more friends that I could count on hands and feet that didn't get that opportunity to live that long, to double back around, to even get into relationships. You know what I'm saying? To even get to marriage, to even get to that point.
Or it's too late when they understand all those different.
Yeah. That's another thing. Marriage. The statistic we just read earlier said something like 50%. It's up like 30% from like 20 years ago. That 50% of black men and women, for the most part, are not getting married in 2022. What y'all think about marriage in like the black community?
It's the environment. If I'm not seeing marriage, why would I do it? Everybody that came up, I say like 60s to was already grown by the 90s. They had grandparents. They had the teachers was at least married. Nobody in our generation in this era is married. Nobody.
That's crazy.
Teachers ain't married. Your cousin them ain't married. Your mama definitely ain't married and don't advocate for it. So it's like it's what you.
Why would you?
Yeah. Why would I even want to get married? I mean, I do want to get married, but
like, what's the
ultimately
benefit?
That's the question though. Why would I want to get married when I could be rich and successful by myself and raise my kids by myself, like my mama did it?
That's tight.
That's what I'm seeing.
I think we don't understand relationships well enough.
But that as well.
You know what I mean? That's
for
why,
sure.
That's right. And then you look at it statistically again, most marriages fail. So if I'm looking at people around me, this marriage didn't work, this marriage didn't work, this one didn't work. Then you talk to the people whose marriage did work, and 9 times out of 10 they just stuck it out. They're not really happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's no incentive to go ahead and get married.
Right.
I think we don't like date to grow or build. We trying to settle down with somebody, and you know what I'm saying, we end up getting it wrong before you get it right.
And Michelle Obama just had I don't know if it was a just, but I just seen it. It was a podcast saying the same thing. She's like, our children, same thing I just said, they don't see the marriages. Or they don't see the behind the scenes where maybe I was the 70% while my husband was 30%, but I didn't give up on him.
Yeah, I seen
because
that.
You know what I'm saying? We a team.
Yeah.
We gonna make it work, and I know we gonna balance out eventually, or we just whatever, it's gonna happen.
Right.
But you're my husband ultimately, and I'm not giving up on you. But these new kids be like, baby, he ain't worked for 2 weeks, baby. Like we
Basically.
married to the full part. I thought.
I say 2 points. Number one, my wife is the definition of commitment.
Yeah.
Because for most of my marriage, I just wasn't shit. Like, and I don't mean it like in a way.
God for the turnaround.
Like, I don't mean it in a way like I was a bad person, like cheating and stuff like that. I just like, I think I got fired from about 25 jobs. Like, I could not keep a job. Like,
you're a great police officer.
Like, listen, even as a police officer, I did everything right. I made no mistakes, right? I did everything you're supposed to do the right way. But I just didn't mistreat people. But we're in an environment, as the environment changed, I was like, wow, I still want to not mistreat people. So like, no, we're going to start mistreating people. So if you want to not mistreat people, you got to go. Yeah. Right? So, and for me, it's like, like my wife had to grow with me. She had to be committed because it was like, we got married young. We got married 2 days before my birthday, or 2 days after my birthday. So I turned 24, we got married 2 days later. Right? So she had to grow with me as I grew. And I was like, baby boy, street mentality, like, you know what I'm saying? I was changing, but I just wasn't like the me I am. I wasn't even nowhere near close to the me I would become. So it's like, yo, to put up with all of that, you gotta be a different type of person. Like, you gotta be committed. Because if I was in her shoes, I'm like, man, that's Nick, bro. And that's just day one. We ain't even talking about year one. You feel me?
So let me ask this question. Y'all been married 16 years?
Yeah. Yep.
Brother Henry's wife. How many of those 16 years have been as you would expected them to be when you first got married?
How many of them have been as I expected?
That's a good question.
I don't know, and I don't know what I expected. Like, I didn't go into my marriage like it's gonna be this fairy tale. Like,
so hold on, let me backtrack a little bit because you got like a list of 10 standards.
True.
How many of those was met?
Somewhere between 7 and 8 of them. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but
80% is a B.
Duh.
I think she said 7 last time.
So somewhere between 7 or 8 of them. You know, he was working. He got his own place before we got married. He didn't have a car, but he didn't have to have a car. He was a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He was respectful of like the women in his life, his mom, his aunts, his cousins. he was and still is not a punk. Like
True.
one thing I
hands, big.
my not physical hands, but like just
still got those.
Period.
He's not afraid. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not afraid of.
True.
So even with him checking
being real,
off
being
70 to 80% of the boxes, would you say that there's still been a lot of things you didn't expect?
Absolutely.
So I think that's where the relationship really is at. Basically, your commitment, you know what I'm saying, deciding to ride it out, because the relationship growing with a person is going to throw you some curveballs.
Facts all day long.
And most people be ready to jump ship.
That's
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Yeah.
And then you got to have that will. Like I said, some people you see relationships fall apart, or some people you see relationships just sticking it out. At some point in time, you're going to be that person that's just sticking it out.
Yeah.
And most people don't want to be that. And
But
they
the thing
bounce.
is, though, so our relationship is not perfect. It never has been, and I don't think it ever will be. But there's been times where I wanted to leave my marriage, right? But I've never stayed. I never stayed because I want to stick it out, right?
Okay.
I stayed in my marriage because I want to be here, right? I love my husband, and I want us to continue to grow as one into God, right? I want to do that, and so instead of just sticking it out just to stick it out, let's go find some help. Let's go get the help that we need so that we can mend our relationship, so that we can help our relationship, right? So if I break my leg, I'm not just going to sit back and be like, well, my leg's broke, so ain't nothing I can do about it. I'm going to go get some help to repair my broken leg, right? So if there's things that I don't agree with him about, or things that I want to see him do better in our relationship, then we're going to go out and get the help that we need to do that. Or we'll just simply have a conversation about it. We'll talk about it and we'll communicate about it. Like it just, I don't know. I mean, I guess people could get to the point where they just there just to be there. But that's not just on your partner. That's on you.
Yeah.
Go get some help for whatever it is that you need help with. Like there's something about this person that you love, right? You picked up, you went down that aisle and married this person. So if you went down the aisle and married this person for superficial reasons, then yeah, you got to deal with that now. But if there was something there when you married this person, then there's something there now, right? People don't typically change too much, even over 16 years.
Same what Hov said, you are who you were when you got here.
People don't typically change. So what was it about this person that you loved? You know, how did you fall in love with this person from the very beginning? All the things that people tell you, keep it in the honeymoon stage in the beginning, like all that kind of good stuff. Like go out and get some help. I don't see myself ever like, you know what, I'm just here, so like no, why would I want to do that?
So then I guess the better question is, with most people around y'all, like you said, marriage is failing, most people not getting married, younger generations not even looking to marriage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What is it that keeps you guys strong? You know what I'm saying? What is it that basically you guys are an admirable relationship? You said nothing is perfect, you know what I'm saying? But everybody around you gets energy from you guys. Everybody around you is like they have something, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to let you guys speak to that. What is it that keeps you guys looking within when most people in these 2023, almost as it is, are looking to be independent?
So I know you see us having fun on the podcast, but seriously, let me ask you this question. Are you an entrepreneur, and are you struggling to make your first six figures? If you're an entrepreneur and you're struggling to make your first six figures, I need you to understand that most times it's not about your skill set, it's about your mindset. And it just so happens that I'm a mindset coach. So if you want to learn more and you want to learn how you can overcome the mental roadblocks that stop us from achieving high levels of success without wasting a lot of time with trial and error, then be sure to go visit my website at www.12fsuccess.com. Get a free gift and learn more, and possibly we could work together to get you to that next level, to reach your first six figures, maybe your second six figures, your third six figures, all of your dreams, everything above. We're headed to the top. Let's go. Let's get back to the episode. All right, so I'm going to let her answer first. They say ladies first. You know what I'm saying, Pac?
I think you want me to answer first. You could steal my answer.
No, I just don't want to upstage you, so you know what I'm saying?
It may seem cliche, but when I got married, I went into it till death do us part. So, you know, when I went into this thing, divorce was not an option. Even though I've had times where I wanted to divorce, I didn't want to be here. I was, you know, upset or mad or in my feelings, whatever the case may be.
Facts.
But it's kind of like, you know how we talk about people take their own life, and it's unfortunate because people make people make a permanent decision, right, based on how they feel at that time. And so I never want to make a permanent decision to end my marriage because I'm not happy with him at the moment, especially 16 years later, because at any moment I can look back on the dozens and dozens and dozens of times that's good versus right now when he just working my last nerve. He gonna work my last nerve. It's eventually that too shall pass. And I thank God that it always does. And it passes with communication. It passes with marriage counseling. It passes with writing stuff down. It passes with watching a movie by myself, going for a drive. Like, sure. This too shall pass. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta learn how to be selfish sometimes. Otherwise,
man, listen,
that might be the problem.
I came into this thing
True.
till death do us part, and I meant what I said. That's why.
I'm gonna tell you, for me, it's a couple different factors, right? Like a lot of what she said, but for me, I can remember. This is why I'm so big on like mental health, though, right? I can remember the day my dad left, like in vivid detail. I remember the fight my mom and dad had. I can hear the argument, like I was right there watching it, and I can remember it vividly. Yeah. And I remember how it felt as a child when my dad left. And I remember saying stuff when I was younger, like, "Yo, all the things my dad did when I grew up, I'm gonna do the complete opposite." Because I felt like the way my dad hurt me, I was like, I would never hurt another person. And then like when I got older, certain stuff that my dad did, I started realizing like I was becoming him, right? Like my dad, like I was mad at him. He was using drugs. Like, I started using drugs, right? I was smoking weed. Now my daddy got on the heavy stuff, but that's where it starts at though, right? Like somebody lace your blunt or something, and then next thing you know, you on coke, and from coke, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I started realizing like, damn, my daddy treated my mama that certain way. These not my wives, but I'm treating women this way. But all the things I said I would never do that my dad did, I started doing it. I'm like, damn, one, I can't blame him, right? Because now I'm starting to understand what he went through. So, but for me, that played a huge role when I got married. When I got married, I was like, yo, I'm going to be from my wife what my father wasn't from my mother, right? Like almost like the family has a curse and I got to break the curse. So that was one thing. It was like, yo, I got to ride for my family. I can't be that guy, right? But number two, and it wasn't even Keshonda. Keshonda, I don't know if she, but I tell the story, but it wasn't even Keshonda. Like when I joined the Nation, I went through this process in my life of like coming like out of the streets into like becoming a different person spiritually. And like one of the things that before I even met Keshonda, I was like, yo, I never want to let the minister down for the type of person I am, right? And it was important for me when I married Keshonda. It was like, yo, our marriage is a representation of him at the end of the day. And so whatever we do represents him, no matter how we cut the cake. And I was like, yo, I don't want to be that dude where all my people that like poured into me, because not that, I'm not even advocating the Nation for everybody. But I'm saying the men that poured into me when I didn't have a father, the men that helped to grow me to become a man, to like, yo, be on time. Make sure you always got a fade. Make sure, put on smell goods. Tell your mother you love her. Let your children be free. Like the men who poured into me, they put standards, and like, I don't want to disappoint them. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so part of that is like, yo, like the Nation is almost like the mafia in the sense of like, even if I'm thinking crazy, folks, like the brothers around me are like, yo, go home to your wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, go home to your wife. Like, we're not going to allow you to do no nonsense. Go home to your wife. And so that was healthy for me to help me grow to a certain point where I got to the point to grow where she's at. Like, it's a commitment. And if it's only a commitment, you're only on something if you get into it and you say from the very beginning, I'm never going to quit. Right? Otherwise, if there's I tell entrepreneurs all the time, don't come to me for coaching if there's a chance you're going to quit. Right. Like, why you wasting your money? I'm not cheap. Like, if there's a 1% chance you're going to quit, don't even come. Because I'm not giving you your money back. You know what I'm saying? If there's a 1% chance you're going to quit, don't come. And that's how I approach my marriage. Like, yo, no matter, almost. I do have a non-negotiable, right? I have one non-negotiable.
You do?
I do.
What is it?
I will break my marriage on the non-negotiable. If my wife cheats, I'm out, right?
Really?
Yeah, if she cheats.
You can't take that, huh? You can't take
It's different. Nah, this is a whole different kind. This is gonna open up a whole new bag of worms, right?
True,
between men cheating, and men like. But natural. Here's the thing.
I think that's a natural double standard in
life. I love
Isn't
it though.
Because I don't have that.
I can admit it. We look at it differently.
It's completely different.
We look
completely
at it
different.
It's not like when you see a 6 looks like a 9 if you look at it upside down. It's not like that. No. If a woman cheats on a man, it's like
Over.
so much damage is done internally to my expectations of my life going.
Because women
forward,
cheat for different
to the
reasons.
next woman I talk to
you
my
fail.
security defenses, to my intel. Like, why didn't I see this coming?
Man.
What's up with the other? It's so many different things, and it's like, how can I look
And
at
you
you
don't-
the same ever again?
You don't see those same things.
All I'm saying is y'all handle it different.
This what I'm gonna say though.
Y'all handle it different.
Women cheat because something's missing, like mentally, right? Men can cheat if they have means, motive, and opportunity, right? If they have them, like, if she show up and I show up and I'm like, you trying to link? She like, yeah. Like, if she just, it wasn't even in my mind when I woke up. My mind was, I'm gonna get a popsicle, I'm gonna be a good dad today and play video games. She pop up at the door, knock, knock, knock. Your wife home? I'm naive. No, she not home. She's like, well, I mean, now you got a decision. You like, dang, like you didn't come, you did not intend to cheat that day, but as a man, you like,
So you're saying that women, when they cheat, it's premeditated.
I'm not even saying it's necessarily premeditated,
murder one,
but
when a
for
man
a
do
woman,
it,
it's different.
when a man do it, it's
Like,
murder too.
It's different for a woman because men are
Definitely
genetically men
premeditated
can.
when women cheat. It's definitely premeditated.
Like, a man can
There's
cheat.
no chance on earth that
Why
you
can't
ever-
we be human and be like,
There is no
oh my
chance
God,
on
it's
earth.
just
No,
stuck in
no,
front of me.
no.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you definitely
man
thought
cheating.
about this in advance.
A man
ahead
can
of time.
cheat on his woman and still love.
That man had to
and
pass
still
so
love
much
her.
scrutiny and even to be acceptable for you in that physical sense for you to be like, nah. You know what I'm saying? It's not that it's planned or down to the utmost detail, but you're around somebody who you've already qualified or disqualified.
Facts.
And men don't do that.
Right.
No,
saying
listen.
y'all
I'm
with it,
sad,
listen,
hot, bro.
listen,
You just happen to be
listen.
love.
This is different though. This is different. Here's the difference, right? A man can see a woman. Like I heard DMX talk about cheating on his wife, but he said he still loved her, and I understood exactly what he meant. Right? He said he.
But
cheated.
you don't understand a woman saying the same
wait,
thing.
hold on. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there. Hold on. DMX said he cheated on his wife, but he absolutely loved her with everything. Like he would lay his life down on the line for her, right? But he also said like the temptation was very hard to turn other women because for men, I don't know how it is for women, but if a sister fine. Like ain't no like one of the ways my marriage has been able to thrive because I'm very honest with my wife up front. Like listen, I don't want to be around her because she fine. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want the potential. I don't even want the idea to come around because she fine, right?
Sexually, men
Like,
don't hold so much on sex.
it don't mean that much to us. Like I can hit and be done with you.
There's women like that.
But for a
True.
female,
That's
I
fact.
remind-
Nowadays,
I remind-
definitely.
For a
Nowadays.
female to let somebody inside of you, you cared a lot more. And
Yeah.
therefore, you had me and you chose him. You was way
Or maybe-
more over me.
'Cause women-
than
I
what
care
was
more
over
about
you.
hurting you like you hurt me.
You know,
I
Like
just want
she
you
got a
to
good
feel
point.
like me.
She got a good point. It's some women nowadays that like
Yeah, I just wanna hurt you like you hurt me.
they just want to like because
But we're talking about women in a committed relationship more so than
right. Because I'm gonna say
promiscuous.
because women are being made masculine and men are being made feminine. So that's a whole different aspect of the conversation.
I
But
don't
like,
want to leave you.
but a woman in a relationship, once a woman cheats on her man that's in a relationship, mentally she's already gone.
Yeah.
you lost. She's not coming back. That's not your girl no more. That's his girl.
So you
You see what I'm
can't.
saying?
So
But
there's
for the
no.
man,
So there's no way to
she's not
mend a
already
relationship
gone.
if
She
a
just
woman
cheated.
cheats.
For me, there's not. It might be for another man that's a simp, but for me,
Wow.
ain't no
But-
ain't no simping in my pimping shit.
But there is a way to mend the relationship if a man cheats, and it doesn't make a woman a simp.
Because the
Right.
man,
No, it's different.
Yes,
It's different.
It's a
I
double
don't-
standard. That's how the conversation
definitely a
started,
double
right?
standard.
a
It's
double
a difference.
standard. Yes,
Clearly.
because I didn't care that much about her.
Y'all just
At all.
You cared so
It
much
was a
about this
physical-
man that you let him in.
You don't gotta care about him.
It was a physical
I got
act of
tipsy,
pleasure.
was having a good time.
You feel me?
I thought I could get away with it. And
He
I'm
was
just honest about
convinced.
what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Cosign.
It's not even a big deal for me.
Facts.
But for
Facts.
you to let somebody inside of you, you was mad at me
'Cause-
on a certain level. You
Yeah.
were pissed at me.
Yeah.
What I did wasn't at you. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't at you.
That
You
it-
missed. You just texted me. You're not coming to the home tonight.
I
And it's
was-
our anniversary.
I was irresponsible.
I'm at the
I
grocery
messed up, but
store.
it wasn't personal.
This
You know what I'm
man
saying?
fine
It
as
wasn't
hell.
personal for
So-
real.
Listen,
Wow.
once a
Wow.
woman
It is
cheats,
premeditated.
once a woman in a
Person,
relationship
thank you.
cheats, not a single woman, right? Not single, but once
he
a
was
woman in
right
a
there.
relationship that's committed cheats, that girl is gone. Like Jay-Z said, once a good girl goes bad,
I
she's
don't know.
gone
I feel
forever.
like I could be there still. So
She go like
It's
she's
just
not
like-
coming. That's not like. Here's the thing, as a man, I'm gonna tell you for me personally, and women probably go through this too. Like, luckily I've never had been through this, but women probably go through this too. Like, I'm never gonna trust you.
yeah, that's
I only
right.
half trust you in the beginning.
Men. Yeah.
Thank you.
To only half trust.
But
you?
Yeah,
Right,
we
yeah,
16.
yeah.
We 16 years
Right,
married.
right,
I'm just
right.
learning
And I
this.
only half trust my wife now, right? Only halfway, because let's be like, listen, okay. I be wondering, like, man, okay, like, it's like
She be traveling a
So let me ask
lot.
everybody
not
this
even like
question.
that, not in that
Hey,
sense,
I don't
not in
think
that
so.
sense. I'm not saying it like
On a
that.
scale of 1 to 10, how important is trust in a relationship?
10. Trust is highly important.
10. It's definitely.
It's everything.
It is. If you don't trust me,
everything.
that shit.
Nah, we gotta earn that trust. I don't need it right
You
away.
didn't ask
because
that. You said how important.
how
it is.
important it is. It's like
Yeah.
6 or 7. Like, okay, I have to have it, but in the beginning, that's what I should have prefaced it with. Simply because it's not there. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
trust.
Yeah, you got to
at
build
all.
it up. You got to build it
There's
up.
no
yeah.
trust
That's real
whatsoever.
too.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I trust you
don't
till you give
trust
me
you
reason
at
to,
all.
though,
When
so
I first
Yeah.
I don't trust you at all. Okay, you was at where you said you was gonna be. You didn't lie to me for 30 days straight. You never had me. Okay, now I trust you a little bit.
Yeah.
We're growing on this. You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna tell you another reason too, though. I'm gonna tell you another reason what he's saying.
you know what I'm
If
saying?
here's the thing, I just seen a short on YouTube, and the remember that short we just seen? The girl was like, I mean, the baby not yours. She's like, he like 7, but he ain't yours. Like, just get over it. Like women like when they say hell has no fury, like a woman's wrath. Because men don't have the power to do that. But a woman is like, yo,
No,
this
not the
baby.
7
No, that's
years.
facts.
Y'all see
7 years later.
several years.
It's over. She got to go.
Listen, I
Hey.
can't barely hold a surprise. 7 years.
7
Oh my
years.
Men be
God.
having whole other families. Not even
Now that's
facts.
loose. In real life, I got.
You never find a woman have a whole nother family, bro.
children.
But if the baby belongs to another man, yes, you
You're right, I'm
do.
wrong. I got family
Take care of
that I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly, bro.
I got family in Arkansas. We ain't never kicked it.
Men will carry on
Double
two
lives.
completely
Right.
different
Double
Right,
lives.
but we saw what happened to R. Kelly when he did it, right? He
Man.
kept coming from Mr. Biggs, and we seen he got left in that desert, right? Bandaged
All
up.
right, men
That's
can do
different,
it.
though.
But all I'm saying
just
is,
haven't done it.
I'm not
I
saying
just haven't
I'm
done
not saying it's not painful on both sides, but what I am saying as a man is it's non-negotiable for me because if her mind, because women like when women I heard the minister say when a woman loves a man, he loves her like completely. When you read like when you start going to like religious, like not to be religious, we start getting into religious circles and stuff though. Like most religions, men can have multiple wives, right? And they allow that because for a man, you can balance the two. You never see no religion where they're like, oh, Mary, mother of Jesus, where are your 3 boyfriends at right now? Nobody's running a train on Jesus' mother. Like, let's just call it, she's not having multiple husbands.
Men just
but
wrote the book. That's all.
that's what it is?
Yeah.
Women ain't got no
Because if
books in
I'm a
there.
queen of royalty, then I can do what I want to.
I don't know.
There's no queen in the history of queen.
Nefertari had
Look,
26 husbands,
listen.
bro.
Google it.
Did she
If I got a master key,
I thought she
and the
did. I was about to
master
say,
key can open many
Nefertiti
locks.
for life out here, boy.
If I got a master key and a master key can open many locks, you call that a master key, right? But if you have a lock that gets opened by many keys, that lock ain't no damn valuable. You see what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I could be a master key though. That's what I'm.
No,
just
you
saying.
can't be a master key because
That's your opinion.
God did not give you the master key. He gave you
When written
the
by
lock
men.
to be unlocked,
If
right?
whoever wrote the book, it might have been me. You just never.
No,
know.
I'm talking about biologically, right? Men have the key, women have the lock.
God could have been a woman.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe.
I'm just saying.
But I'm saying, if a key can unlock many locks, it's called a master key. But if a lock get unlocked by many keys,
Whatever.
that lock ain't got the same value. That's all I'm saying is, it's different.
The religious, the religious books. They also say one is best for you.
They
if
do.
you but new.
Which
So-
is, cause I'll be honest. I just had a conversation with a brother 2 days ago. He was like, yo, can brothers in the nation, can y'all have multiple wives? And I'm like, no. But I asked him, like, let me tell I've been married 16 years. If I had 2 Keyshawndas, I'd jump off a roof. Like, I was making a joke, but I'm like, yo, having a woman if you, like, in a committed relationship, that's a job.
Making her happy.
Like, you got, like, making a woman happy is not you got to put effort. You got to put thought, and she's gonna let you know every single way that you did not care about her, give her thought, do the things you were supposed to do. You gonna be
Usually, the man I think makes less when he be multiple wives, though. I promise, because he can give all that love. I can love y'all forever.
Of course, you're
Yeah,
not
I've
working.
heard.
You're taking care of him.
but that's totally not
Our
what's
community
written
right
in the
now,
Bible.
though.
It's not.
A big conversation is polygamy. It's a
Which is
huge
crazy.
conversation in
I
our
love
community
it.
right now.
Apparently, it is. Is
It's a
it
huge
like?
thing.
Is that a thing in our community?
It's
Okay, so here's
huge.
the thing, though. It's not polygamy to the point of let's build together.
Yeah, they're not doing the real.
It's not
Yeah,
polygamy to
yeah.
the point of like, okay, she
It's-
works here, she
it's
works
free
here, she
threesomes.
works here, we making this work.
Right.
It's polygamy to the point of I don't want you to tell me who I can and can't sleep with.
Right. Like open
So is it
relationship
polygamy
type
or
stuff.
is it
Like open relationship.
multifaceted?
It's multifaceted.
It's, I want to have a label for
We're
sleeping with
swingers,
people.
right? But we're both. Yeah,
right?
we're labor.
I mean, swingers would be perfect then, right? Like we together, but we could also do our own thing.
So it's like
Right.
it's a part of polygamy, but you don't follow the same morals that people who polygamy.
Because a lot of the black conscious circles right now is like, yo, three incomes is better than 2 incomes, which is always gonna be true. But if you have, that's not always true though. Because I know 3 people together right now, their income don't beat mine.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
You know 3 people in a polygamous relationship?
Yes, you do too.
You just didn't know you did.
You didn't know you did,
but it's okay. But
we learned.
Why not be open then if you're in a polygamous? Why not?
Because the 3 are committed to each other. I'm gonna be honest. As a man, if I have 2 women, it's not about me loving them women. Like
it's about your business.
It's about sex.
Oh.
Listen. I know I'm probably ruining this for men. They probably gonna hate me for this.
It's true though.
In 2022, I got 2 baddies. Like every man in his mind wants multiple women. Like no man in his mind is like, I just want this one woman. And when I see other women, I don't get any other thoughts. Oh, hell no. You see sister, she fine. You like, God damn. Shorty bad, right? In your mind, the thought is always there. So when you start talking about polygamy in 2022, because black men, now we're talking about post-traumatic slave syndrome, baby boy syndrome, Willie Lynch, all of the social engineering, crack cocaine, estrogen in our food.
Women to take care
there ain't no way you about to be taking care of 2 women, love them equally, and be fair and just to both of them. In your mind, you want the threesome every night. Like, and as a man, I dig it. You want a threesome every night, cool. Just come out and say it. But don't when you're like, man, my income, they income. Because most people I noticed in that situation, the women working, the man is like, I maintain the household.
Exactly.
Man, listen, the men that I'm around, fam, no,
you supposed to be working.
You supposed to be working. You supposed to be taking care of both of them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But most of the men that I know, and that go back to that baby boy stuff. But women are. I heard the sister say on a podcast. She said, I'm at the point where I'm willing to either be in a polygamous relationship or open relationship because men gonna cheat regardless. Which reflects back on her. What men are you choosing? I know a bunch of men that don't cheat. All men, like, first of all, black men don't cheat.
We thought until
that
other family
Facts.
that we didn't find out about till grandma died.
Facts.
We like, why these people
Nick Cannon is not a cheater. He's a multiplier.
No.
Okay?
No, sir.
He said multiply the earth and
They
make
said
it.
Daddy was at all my graduations.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, though, like, as a man, if you give me 2 women, it had nothing to do with love. If you give me 2 women, I'm like, fam, I'm living my fantasies every night. Like, it's not about, I just can't, because if you give a man 2 women, think about it like this, men that's not married, and you not in a committed relationship with them 2 women, it's not enough.
Your mind is
if you got 2, you're going to cheat on both of them.
Is the polygamous relationship today, are they married though?
So I met...
They're going to get married,
No,
they say.
yeah,
They've
I don't know
never
any
been married.
ones, but the one I did know that was married is now passed away, and I believe he had 10 wives.
10 of them things?
But when I tell y'all they had it going on. I'm talking about like
A black family in America?
Family in Chicago. They own buildings.
That's how it's
Like, that's
supposed
what I'm
to
saying.
be.
Like, they had it going.
Yeah,
Their family never wanted for nothing.
Let me get 10 business partners.
Kids to this day. Like, it was, when he passed away, I think it was 100, it was like 69 grandkids and like 110 great-grands. Like, and they was all loving. Like, my friend specifically, her mama had 10 kids, bro. Like, I used to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. Like just every time everybody came over, the daddies, the uncles, the siblings, the cousins. What? When it don't let it be Kwanzaa? Okay. Her mama made me, like, it was just like the old school family vibes, but it was like they had the right mindset. Like, we're not
that's
just,
different. That's different.
We owning the city.
Right.
Like, that man ain't sit back and just clean the houses and tell the wives what to do.
That's different.
All had a part.
But
I
jumping
feel like
it-
the women actually sat back.
So I mean, there's not many of them like that though. I'm assuming, right?
Like that. That really follow the
So you
actual
jump.
beliefs.
So people in our community are jumping into polygamous relationship because men
Want the threesomes.
So
you are right.
Yeah,
Because
like,
men
let's
won't
just
be
call it a spade. 95 to 9. Let's not 95 is too low. 97. Because here's the thing. Part of having a wife is can you maintain her, right? Even if you only make 30,000, maintain her with your 30. If you make 50,000, maintain her with your 50. If you make 100,000, maintain her with your 100. But maintain her. So
you don't. It's not just financial.
it's not just financial.
You have
It's
to
mental,
maintain her
social, spiritually, emotional, all
like,
these other things.
It's not just
So
financial.
here's the thing for me that I learned being in a marriage
But you bring
is
it to the table.
it's hard to maintain one woman.
Yeah.
Financial is the easiest part because women, y'all are just women. It's hard. Like we don't know y'all. Y'all are confusing, and we don't everything. Every time we think we know something about y'all, it gets flipped. The script gets flipped on us, right?
For example,
So for example, right? Women tell you like, woman, you know what type of things you like? She's like, man, I love a foot rub. You're like, cool. You rub her feet, right?
you are
That's what she
such
loves.
a lame,
Right?
dude.
And then the next week, she's like, all you ever do is rub my feet. You don't do nothing special for me.
Exactly.
But you just said, she like, I need you to be creative.
Oh my god.
My things, you gotta.
Then she'll tell you, but I don't want to have to tell you everything. but you told me rub your feet. I did it, and now that's not a thing. She's like, no, that's not a thing.
But
Like,
I'm
be
not
creative.
knocking you for it.
See, like, women are hard to
I'm
understand.
telling you, add
I hate
more
you
to
so
the
much.
table.
I'm just saying.
Where my
You
feet
lit.
and feed me grapes.
Like, here's the
was
thing.
hilarious,
Rub
bro.
your feet, feed you grapes. I'm fanning you. You like, then you come in like, then you're like, I'm not happy. Why not? Why are you using such a small fan? This is a fan you picked
Well,
out.
I'm trying to help you. I picked it up because it was convenient.
Women are confusing to men. Like, we love y'all because
human nature.
You have to.
we have
That
to.
is human
You know what I'm
You
saying?
can't live with us, but you can't live without us.
Exactly. Like, I want to be. First of all, that's a whole nother
And y'all
conversation.
not?
That's a whole, huh?
Babe, hand me the remote.
No,
you
men are
handed me the PS5
men are
remote.
very literal.
Like,
First of all,
What?
yeah, thank you. Men get straight to the point. Like, listen,
Yeah.
Very easy.
this is
to
exactly
figure
what
out.
it is. Men,
some men.
now here's the thing. It's a lot of estrogen in the food. There are some men out there who learn from their aunties and didn't learn from other men.
I
So
wanted
they.
the blue socks. These are teal. You be like, what?
That's not, no, listen. I'm straightforward. Listen, babe. I can tell her exactly what it is, and that's what it is, right? Like, she don't got to read between the lines. There's no guessing. There's no, like, this is what it is. Boom. All right. Y'all ain't the same way. Y'all ain't the same
We
way.
got to because y'all can't think of
Like, here's the difference,
I don't know
though.
if I
Here's the
agree
beautiful
with
part about it. Men think logical. Men think logic first. Women think emotion first. And so me and my wife had a real argument, right? And this is something I had to learn. This is last year, or this year, still this year. This is something I had to learn, right? In the argument, my wife was upset because she wanted to turn the air conditioner on in the summertime or something or whatever it was. I was like, just roll the window down. She was hot. I'm like, take your hoodie off. You're wearing a hoodie. Like, that's why you're hot. And so this argument comes about because she didn't want to take the hoodie off. And I'm like, she's like, just let me do what I need to do while I got the time. And then it'll be cool. Just give me a second. So what I didn't understand was she wasn't saying, logically, I was right in the argument. All she had to do was take her hoodie off. But the emotional side of it was like she was traveling. I just picked her up from the airport. Flight got delayed. It was a long flight. I drove past her in the airport. She had to come run to the car to find me. So she was like,
pissed,
she needed a moment, right? I didn't understand the emotional side of it. I just understood the logic. Logic was like, if you're hot, take your hoodie off.
But why was it bothering you for her to turn the air on? That's more work.
No, because
he was
she had
cold.
the air on.
Exactly.
We were.
He didn't
Everybody else in the
understand
car
that.
was freezing.
I'm like, dude, we in the car.
argument is this, though.
I don't want to.
Everybody else in the car
get
freezing. I'm
started.
like,
It's
just
gonna piss me
take
off.
your hoodie off and roll the
We have a
window down. Like,
disagreement. We want to tell you, okay, look, it was this time of day. It was cold.
All the
good
facts.
temperature, the facts.
that's it. All the
Everything,
facts.
because that's what we both can relate on. You know what I mean? It's cold in here right now. That's a fact. That's
Facts.
my feeling. That's not. But it was a long day. That's your feelings.
Exactly.
It's cold in here right now. So men be arguing facts and women be arguing emotions.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So
We're literally learning that exact point in marriage counseling right now.
see,
Our last 6 months
like,
of
we're
marriage
saying
counseling
the
been
same
that.
things, but it sounds like opposites.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not hearing your emotions because you're not answering me in facts. You know what I'm saying?
I-
Tell me what I need to understand to make your emotions seem relevant.
Facts.
I was hot. It's cold in here right now, though. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So
The fact is,
It'll take me.
I want the damn air conditioner.
Right.
So here's the thing.
Since we
I'll
gonna
pay
go
what I'm
there,
saying?
That's what it breaks down now.
That's what a breakdown happens.
There's so much shit that I want.
Right.
You know what
I'm saying?
Breakdown occurs.
I like in marriage counseling. That's literally the point that we're learning in marriage counseling right now. Is I be like, our therapist is listening to our arguments and she's like, first of all, y'all just like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, but she like in some of y'all conversations, y'all are literally saying the same thing.
Things. Yeah.
But here's the thing: I be telling my wife all the time. If I say it to her, she doesn't hear it.
If I say it to you, you don't
If she
hear
said
it.
it to me, I don't hear it, right? But if you come say the exact same thing she just said,
That's how it
I'd be
works.
like, oh, that's what
Somehow.
she did.
That's how your kids gonna work too. That's just how life
Facts.
is.
Somehow.
Facts.
You can't hear it from no
Don't.
I can't take that. I cannot take that. Oh my.
In your children or in your woman?
You can show somebody though. You can show them in
Like,
text
literally.
what they're
I'll
saying,
be coaching
and
my
they
daughter.
still be arguing.
When Aaron's
Man.
playing basketball, I'll be coaching her. Listen, baby, make sure you follow through, spread your fingers, snap your wrist. And she do it the wrong way over and over until I'm yelling, screaming, throwing the balls. My guy come in, coach, hey, Aaron, you got a good shot. Spread your fingers, open your wrist. And she'd be like, hey, Dad, well, look at it. I can't take it. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
You gotta hear it from somebody
I
else.
told I gave my wife this
take
whole
that.
rundown. I forgot what it was. It was something. I gave her some type of knowledge. Shit like,
Nah, the most recent one, I told you something. We said on the podcast. I said something on the podcast.
oh, about cleaning. About,
And then you went and
the
heard
mindset.
the mindset of cleaning
I read
your
that
closet
book.
out.
Yeah, I read one of
I'm
those
like,
books.
I literally said it word for word.
Okay, but here's the difference, though.
And then you went and read it in the book, and all of a sudden, it was like this divine revelation came to you.
Yo, here's the thing,
I
though.
was like,
I can't
I
take
just
that.
said-
I'm like, dude, I just said
You
that.
want to rewind in real time. Like, where is your inflation at? I'm telling it to you specifically.
Exactly.
Why you not-
But I heard it after I heard the book. Then I came back and listened to our podcast
This happens to me all the time.
all
You be
day.
at work and be like, we should get hooks. Then they get hooks and you like,
Man,
I just said that.
man.
Literally, it happens to me. This
That
is
part of
life, y'all. It's
communication in
psychology or
relationships
something.
is
That's
that's pivotal. Like it happens. Like it just I don't know. I honestly I think it's like that so that way it forces you to go outside of like your comfort zone and find somebody, because for us, like I can tell you, if you get in a committed relationship, you got to find somebody who's unobjective, which is why I promote marriage counseling. You got to find somebody who's unobjective, who can look at both sides fairly and be like, listen, both of y'all on some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it is. Like, my therapist told me, she was like, you and your wife go a lot of tit for tat. So I had to actually sit back and listen. Like, sometimes, like, in any argument, you feel like you're right? Like, nobody's ever wrong in an argument. You're always the right person.
admit that I'm wrong.
But I started looking at some of our arguments, and I was like, sometimes
Yeah, you be on
my
bullshit.
wife could say something, and I could be like, I'm better. When we first got married, I used to treat my wife like the streets. So it was beef. So if we got beef, she's getting the cold shoulder out the gate. Don't talk to me. Don't say shit to me. We enemies. Like, don't even fucking look at me. Like, it's beef. And then, I had to learn.
Until
like,
he want to get something from me.
well, yeah, at that point, I'm like, hey, babe.
Then all of a sudden, we friends again.
Moonlight looks so
Exactly.
beautiful in your eyes.
Negroes,
Listen.
boy, I'm trying to tell you.
Listen.
You see what I had to put up with?
I'm already done.
But that's why you learn.
It's beef.
That's why you
Until
learn.
later on that night when his side of the
That's
bed is
why you
cold.
learn to fight mainly around cycle time, because if it's the cycle time, you know what I'm saying? I gotta hold out anyway.
Negroes.
It don't matter.
something.
I
That's
got
what
Negroes.
Eventually, I'm gonna need some, but these next few days, I'm in here strong. Listen,
No,
ain't gonna be none of that. You feel me? Listen,
I can't find my ID for work. Give me some.
The next few days
Man.
ain't gonna be nothing. You a jerk, dude.
I'm just saying. Listen, I'm better now though. Like I learned in couch. I started looking back at some of our fights, and I was like, sometimes my wife is foolish, but sometimes I'm also foolish. And I'm mature enough to realize, like, you know what? She's not always wrong. I'm not always right, but she's not always wrong. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm foolish, and I just got to be man. One thing I've learned, be man enough to be like, you know what, Hen? You was on some bullshit. You're emotional. My therapist just gave us this term, emotional regulation.
Yeah.
You need to regulate your emotions because you're on an emotional high right now, and it's supposed to be women that think emotional. Men supposed to think logical, but you was raised by your mama, so sometimes it kick back in, and you on a full emotional trip. You got to bring it down some, then look at things and be like, okay, you know what? And I'm gonna tell you the last thing. Why? Because when we first got married and we got into our first big fight, my wife went and erased my memory card on the PlayStation.
Oh my God! If I gotta hear about this damn PlayStation,
Do you know what it's like
one more
to have a
time,
woman
bro.
erase your? I had a whole at that time. 2K wasn't out.
Like now.
It was Kobe Bryant. Yeah, she feel the pain now. Kobe Bryant had a basketball game. I was just into like the third round of the playoffs. After a whole 82 game season, all of it gone. My creative player season gone, stats gone.
Fresh too.
I'm not a man who believes in hitting a woman, but I thought about having her jumped. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
It wasn't even that bad. 'Cause
it was that bad. What are you talking about?
It wasn't even that bad because, like, I had my games and I saved them on another memory card and I just deleted his.
Right.
And I had saved my games. The messed up part about it is, I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, this is how we can
I'm gonna
close
say
it.
this.
It's a good way to.
I'm gonna say this. Stay out of married people business because at that time we had a young man that we allowed to stay with us who was homeless.
Facts.
This little nigga went and ran and told him. He didn't even know I deleted it. Stay out of married people business.
Dang, yeah, that ain't
You got
so
that
great.
16 years later.
That's what I'm gonna say about that story. Because
Dang.
had he not said anything, I damn sure wasn't gonna say
It
nothing.
would've just had
I just was
I
gonna
would
be
have
like,
deleted her stuff afterwards, but she suck at games, so she.
I was just gonna be like, I'm sorry, baby. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, if y'all like this episode of GPS Podcast, y'all want us to do more relationship talk, let us know. I'm gonna bring our guests back and more, and we'll get it cracking next time.